All right, guys. So, if you haven't heard about it already, there was a story published in Wired by Taylor Lorenz entitled "A Dark Money Group is Secretly Funding High-Profile Democratic Influencers." Now, there's a list of them. I'm not going to go through it all. In fact, I'm not going to cover a whole lot of this story. It's been thoroughly covered at length, and they've done a far better job than I could do. I mainly want to discuss like the implications and what it shows about two in particular. Two of the people that are like the most well known Democratic influencers that are involved in this, I would call it a scandal, are the actual co-founder of Chorus, which is the dark money group that we're talking about. It's the whole thing we're dealing with. The co-founder is Brian Tyler Cohen. He has been publicly outed, as has David Pakman. Now, I think that this tells you a lot about these two people. So, this entire deal, the whole reason why it even matters is that the information is not public. You could have fucking like some corrupt billionaire from frickin' the Middle East or something looking to influence shit and throwing money at people to do so. We don't know. That's the problem. That's why this is wrong. And I shouldn't need to explain that. But so how do we know that it's not just like Taylor Lorenz like uh, jumping on something with almost no evidence just to like create a shitstorm because that creates publicity and of course money? Well, there's an insane amount of documentation for the claims. There are emails sent directly to the recipients of the dark money. There's even like mentions that you are kicked out of the program if you mention that you are part of Chorus. Um, there's a bunch of legal documents that they have, like contracts. Like there's no denying it. Like it's a fact. Like you're not getting out of it. So what they're trying to do, and it's very telling. So David Pakman has been like constantly threatening to sue Taylor Lorenz over this, even though all she's doing is reporting the fucking facts. So the response, hold on. First, I'll go over. That's David Pakman's main response. He's getting very defensive. It's hilarious because it's ruining his name, which it should, because he's a piece of shit for taking it in the first place. And it makes it to where I don't take anything he says seriously anymore because he's not principled. What he is saying or covering could be entirely to like because he's paid, and that's the whole point here. If your goal is not like making the world a better place, giving the facts, whatever, then it's probably to benefit yourself, which is just it's all about making money. When it comes to Brian Tyler Cohen, his response is he's trying to twist it and use mental gymnastics. He's trying to act like, well, oh, if you suddenly take money, well, one, he's not mentioning, he's trying to like keep on the low down the fact that it's like not a transparent organization and that's dark money by definition. But he's saying that like Taylor Lorenz takes like $8,000 a month, which is the amount that the top end of how much the Chorus influencers are being paid, the top end. Um, and he's saying that she makes that, and through some like a journalist organization deal, and that makes her a hypocrite. Like, oh, it's fine if Taylor Lorenz gets paid, but if anyone else gets paid, we can't have that. So he's trying his best to like do some like psychological bullshittery here and evade and fucking like try to throw the stink back on the person who accused them. And it didn't work because the organization, it's like a journalist, I don't know what to call it exactly, but it's actually publicly disclosed. Everything, their money, what they're funding, why they're funding it, all of that is common knowledge. You can't compare the two, dude. Like, it's hilarious that you even tried this shit. So I want to kind of draw attention to the irony. The irony is that both Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman constantly cover the bullshit tactics that Trump uses to like attack anyone who, or attack dissent, basically. Anyone who says anything against anything that he says or wants to do, he'll use all sorts of underhanded tactics. These are the exact same tactics, at least some of the tactics, that are being used by Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman to attack Taylor Lorenz, who's what she's guilty of is telling the truth, exposing fucking bullshit like greed in which they try to spin it as if like it's just, oh, we're just here to give you the news. We're just here to represent like the left and all that. No, you're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be part of this fucking group in the first place. So I can't speak for anyone else, but I have a pretty high bar on what I consider acceptable sources of information. And at this point, I'm very glad that Taylor Lorenz did this fantastic journalism to make this come to light, because now I know that Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman are fucking frauds. They're just pieces of shit that are riding the current of like popular opinion on a particular political view, in this case, the left, and they're using it for their own ends to enrich themselves. That's all they care about. So they're, to me, illegitimate sources of information, and no one should take them seriously. Like, fuck them. I hope that people don't forget about this, because public like memory tends to be very fucking short-lived. And I hope they don't just look the other way and like a couple of months goes by and then they're like back to watching fucking Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman covering their bullshit. Because this isn't an accident. This isn't like, oh, they were roped into something they didn't know about, blah, blah, blah. No, they knew what the fuck they were doing. And this tells you their character. They're pieces of garbage. Now, I am a very small scale operation, as it should be obvious. My production values, all that good stuff, are practically non-existent. But with that being said and acknowledged, like, I don't give a fuck about fucking like threats and all that shit. Yeah, like, you can threaten my life. You can tell me that you're going to take me to court. You can say that you're going to use your money to fucking bury me. I don't give a fuck. That shit don't work on me. If you want to take me to court, I'll meet you there. What I care about is the truth, regardless of whether it hurts your feelings. You can pretend to be a victim if you want. You can go, oh, you're tarnishing my name. This is defamation of character. The facts support what I just said. You're a liar. And that's that. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's all that matters. You're not going to fucking impede my ability to call you out for what you are. Period. Thank you for your time. And I'm I'll include the link to the original Wired article, but you can also, if you're interested in this, there's tons of coverage on YouTube if you want to find it. There's like Breaking Points covers it. Katie Halper has Taylor Lorenz in an interview covering it and covering the response by especially Brian Tyler Cohen and how hilarious his fucking defensive attempts to smear her are, which again is very Trumpian of him. Anyhow, thank you for your time.